Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Dirt, Grain, Steel. So on today's episode, we are going to continue working on the Chapman family pond. I started last night because my phone was dead. I couldn't start making videos. So right now we've got the Hyundai HX300LR here, and I'm using it to dig this pond deeper. This was an existing pond, but it wasn't very deep. It was only maybe 3 foot deep at its deepest. So what I done was I cut me this shelf all the way around because it pretty much looked like this. I mean, the banks were too steep to be able to mow all the way down to the edge of the water. There was phragmites, there was little trees and stuff. So what I done was I made this shelf and I got myself down closer to the water, and I got myself to set level so that I could sit up here and dig. And I worked my way around to this side, which this side there was no chance of being able to dig it without having a shelf because of the little pine trees, and the goal was to leave the pine trees. I said, well, I can leave those pine trees. So what I done was I took the original tapered bank that was still too steep to mow with a lawnmower, and I cut it down and I moved it out, and I made me a nice shelf to sit on. So what I'm going to do is, you can see what I've been doing, is I started down there and I've been working my way back, rebuilding this taper. And what we're going to do is, I'm going to have Dad Strength bring the dozer, and he's going to taper this all down real nice to the edge of the water so that he can mow along there with the lawnmower. So now I'm going to get in the hoe and I'm going to bring it back over here and continue digging, continue filling this, and then work my way back around. And I got a good sized hole out there already started. You can see the dirt piled over there from the hole. I'm going to continue digging that hole all the way across that end. I'm going to make a pile of dirt, and then we're going to fill this corner in some because they're going to put a cabin there. And then along the barn over there, they want to widen their driveway out. So they're going to lose a little bit of volume of pond, but they're going to make up for that loss of volume in depth. So I'm going to get in a 300 and I'm going to start digging and see what we can get done today. I should be able to finish this up today, at least the digging part. Once I get the digging part done, then we're done here with the long reach. So from then on, it's just doing it with standard front machines and a dozer and stuff. So I'm going to get digging. So we're in the 300 now. We're going to get moved over there, go back down our shelf here. Get past these little stumps right here. Get moved back over there and get digging. This hoe weighs 75,000 pounds, but with the good undercarriage system that they've got, it's got plenty of undercarriage power, and these tracks will pretty much move it around anywhere you want to go. This thing is a brute. I love running it. It's smooth, it's quiet, the cab is wonderful on it. There's a bunch of bumblebees down there. Glad I'm in this sealed up cab. So, but this thing has been a treat to run. Really enjoyed it. But it's gonna have to go back. Right now it's kind of a little too early in the game to, well, I shouldn't say too early in the game, but it's just not feasible to buy it right now, I should say, with things the way they are in the economy. Not sure what's going to happen day to day. So to be on the safe side, we're not going to end up purchasing it. I am looking at a couple long reaches that are in the $50,000 range that we are looking at buying. So as of right now, a brand new one is kind of out of the wheelhouse, but it is what it is. I mean, a lot of guys will understand that a long reach is kind of a specialty item. and they're not something that you need all the time, so they do set quite a bit. So it's like, well, you know. And right now I kind of need a 200 size machine more than I need a long reach. I mean, my 200's getting older, it's getting tired. I need to update it. So we are looking into an HX300 Hyundai though, a brand new one. So we might go with one of them. We'll see what happens. I would like to try out a Hitachi that size, a Komatsu that size. Don't really want to do Son, so we'll see what happens. But I'm starting digging now. I even considered maybe a Volvo, checking into a Volvo. So trying not to dump that from too high so I'm not getting it all over my windshield. But as you can see with long reach, you can really reach out there and you can grab something. You know, that is the beautiful thing about them. I'm reaching 3/4 of the way across the pond, getting the material out. Haven't seen any goldfish yet this morning though. There are goldfish out here, quite a few goldfish. Just kind of working my way back and forth, feeling the bottom, feeling where I've dug, where I haven't dug. Windshield's a little dirty, I apologize. It don't help that the sun's right in the view. So what I'm doing is throwing this dirt up here. We're going to let it dry out for 2 or 3 weeks. Let it get good and dry, and then I'll have Dad's strength bring the dozer over here, and we will doze it all out real nice. Gonna have to come up with some topsoil to throw over it because I know it is sand. There really wasn't much topsoil here to begin with. So in order to get some good grass to grow, they're gonna have to get some good topsoil on it. So that's gonna be probably the next step, is finding some topsoil. I told them if they would find some, that I would be interested in spreading it out for them, but they got to find some because I don't know of any right now. Topsoil is getting hard to come by for some reason. So anyways, kind of got the idea of what's going on in this process, so I'm going to keep digging and we'll continue the video on later when we get to something else, some other part of the project. So don't want to bore you too much with just this. I know some people could sit and watch me dig for hours, but that would get boring. Hell, it's boring for me even. So, anyways, I'll continue the video a little bit later. So, I've gotten dug all the way around to the Phragmites spot of the pond. I'll show you right here. So, I've gotten away from the pine trees over on the other side. I got that bank all done. Let me adjust the camera here a little bit. Alright, now you can see. So, I've gotten dug all the way around. Got that end all rebuilt. Working on this end now. So now, I'm going to continue to dig this deep through the center of the pond. And now I'm going to stack up some dirt. As I build the bank back, I'm going to also stack some, or stockpile some dirt, stack it up and stockpile it, because when we get over by the barn, we're going to need to whiten that out. So I'm just going to stack this up here. I've already got that pile. That pile's going to go to build that corner out a little bit where they want their cabin to sit. And then this dirt that I'm stockpiling now is going to go to whiten out the driveway by the barn and garage area. So usually I don't dig this fast and this hard in a pond because of the fish, but being this pond is not a stocked pond, all it has in it is goldfish. They're not concerned about the goldfish because they kind of want a lot of them to die off because the goldfish are very invasive. And they would like to stock this pond with some bluegill and some bass and stuff like that, you know, normal North American fish for this area. So not too worried about stirring up too much silt. You don't really want to dig this time of year in a pond that is a stocked pond because the fish are extremely active. And when you get this silt stirred up, especially during the hot months, the fish get this sand, the fine silt and sand in their gills, and it'll kill them because they can't breathe. So that's something to keep in mind if you're ever going to clean a pond, and it's during the hot months of the year. During the cold winter months, it's the best time to dig a pond or clean a pond because the fish are dormant and they're kind of like hibernating at the bottom of the pond, and they're not using as much oxygen, so they don't need that much oxygen to survive. So with the silt in the water, it don't bother them nearly as bad as it does during the hot months when they're very active. So that's just something to keep in mind if you're going to clean a pond, that don't do it probably June through September. I wouldn't do it if there's good fish in there. I'd try to do it from the end of November through probably, I'd say March is about your best time, I would say, to clean a pond, in my opinion. Yeah, you could probably push it a little farther than that, but you know, do it while it's cold. I would do it probably when it's still in the 30s, just to be safe. Ideally, do it right after the ice thaws off the pond, or if you want to bust through the ice and throw the ice off, you can do that also. So, depending on how thick your ice gets where you live, I mean, around here, a mild winter, we might only get maybe 10 inches of ice, if that. I mean, our winters haven't been like they used to be. I mean, I used to remember when we'd get a foot to 16 inches of ice on a pond, but you're just not seeing that nowadays anymore. So I'm going to keep digging here, get some more sand stockpiled. This stuff that's floating on top of the water, I'm going to have to wait till we get a wind and catch it on either end of the pond. The wind will hold it to the end, and then I can dip it out. Because when I try to dip it, it just goes everywhere. It floats out of the bucket and stuff. I skim a little off here and there, but it just goes everywhere. So if I get a wind that'll collect it to one end of the pond and get it, you know, stacked on top of itself a little bit, then I can collect it a little easier. Which a lot of that will actually sink to the bottom eventually. But I'm going to try to get as much as I can out just for aesthetic purposes, so it looks good, or cosmetic, whatever word I'm looking for. So anyways, I'm going to keep digging a little bit here, and then we're going to make us a shelf a little more and move down a little more and keep digging. So now I need to make me some more shelf to sit on. So I'm going to get rid of some of this Phragmites. Dipping it out, throwing it up on the bank. There's a tile in here I gotta find. Oh, there it is. So this Phragmites, it's been getting worse and worse in the area. You can scrape it off, but the roots are still there. You almost need a herbicide program, which I'm going to set them up with a herbicide program to get rid of this stuff. It's just a very invasive, it started out as an ornamental grass, and it takes ponds over like in no time. It's just really nasty stuff. Even though I'm scraping it out, the roots are still there and they're still going to grow back. So I'm going to have to come up with them a good herbicide program to keep sprayed on this, something that won't bother the fish, but it'll kill off the Phragmites. It's got really weird roots. They're like a tubular root. They're just kind of nasty. So I'll get this stuff out of here, get me a nice place to set. I gotta extend these tiles for them. Just push this over to the side up in here. But so now I can get up in here and set, and I can finish digging. Got a little bit of sand in the one track. That's why it popped like it did. In the fall, when this stuff matures and dies, you can burn it off and then you can see what you're doing. But right now, we're just going to have to deal with it. Should have brought the brush mower on the 200, but I didn't feel like putting the brush mower on. We'll get it just scraped out of the way. At some point, I'm going to have to determine where I'm going to make me a ramp to get off this shelf that I'm sitting on, because I'm going to have to get out of here at some point. Just can't leave the hoe down here. I don't think David Hardings would appreciate it if I just left the hoe down here, because I think they're going to need it back. Dipped out of here a little bit. And what I'll do is I'll bury this stuff over here when we widen out the driveway to get rid of it. It'll be okay, it'll rot and go away. I'm actually going to leave some of this in here and just bury it here too, just to get rid of it. If it's buried pretty deep, it won't grow back, so that's a good thing. If you keep it mowed, you can keep it down that way. But like on these banks of this pond, you know, it's impossible to mow it with the way that they were shaped and stuff. So that's why we're here. We're gonna put them some good tapers on so they can run the edge of the mower deck right along the edge of the water, so that they can maintain this crap. It's either a pond has good straight up and down banks that stuff won't grow on, you can weed eat them easy, or you have to have a pond that you can access with a mower easily. It's just, there's kind of no in between. If there's an in between, you're going to have nasty banks, unless you keep them sprayed. Just stuff flipped up here. Okay, so now I can start digging again. I can see what I'm doing. Got that Phragmites out of the way, so I'm going to continue digging. So we're down to our last little bit of digging, and this pond project will be done. Definitely turned out really nice. I'm happy with the results. Gonna really like it when all the grading is done and get all this dirt placed where it belongs and build this out so they have a nice driveway through here. It's hard. This hard sand is pretty damn hard. It's hard digging. But this Hyundai 300 does a pretty good job with it. I am really impressed with it. You know, I've run Doosan, I've run older Hyundais, run Kobelcos, run a couple Komatsus, long reaches, and this one is right up there with the rest of them as far as strength. The Doosan seems to be a little less strength. The Doosan's a little bit jumpy. This one's real smooth. Oh, watch out, puppy. But very happy with this machine. It's performed very well for us. Really enjoy running it. Very comfortable. This is the first major digging I've done with it. We've been loading trucks, and like I said in the videos before, we could have done that with a standard reach, but on the project that we were on, it required 2 hoes, and it required the use of a long reach also, so we just rented this and used it as a standard hoe also. So performed very well for loading the haul trucks. Very happy with the way it worked there. I'm going to be saying bye to it here pretty soon, but overall, my experience with the can't talk today, with the HX300LR has been awesome. Very awesome machine to run. I'd recommend to anybody buying one that a great machine, you know, a great addition to their fleet. Like I said, right now is not the time for us to be buying one, to be sticking our neck out that far, to be spending $220,000 on a machine. So will I look at one in the future? Yes, I will. Right now, like I said, I'm going to look for something in the $50,000 range. So just something to get by for a while. And it'll end up staying with us the rest of its life anyways, because every piece of equipment that comes to us stays with us. I don't think we've actually sold anything. But anyways, like I said, if somebody come and talk to me about buying a HX300, I would tell them, hell yes, good machine. Tell them that they'll really like it. I know Hyundai North American shared my video of the 300 when we first got it to use it, and I appreciate them sharing that, getting me out there, getting my YouTube name out there. Really appreciate it. Thanks for that. And I look forward to running some more of your products. Just thinking about looking into maybe updating Little Dick here in the next year or two, keeping him of course for certain things, but maybe updating to a newer Hyundai mini excavator. So something Little Dick size, like 16 to 18,000 pounds, and then you know, putting a hammer on that and a mower and stuff. So, but anyways, I hope you liked this episode of Dirt Grain Steel. If you enjoyed this, give me a like and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. We're well on our way to 500 subscribers. I'm excited about that. I never thought that my channel would even get over 200. So I must be doing something right in my videos. But anyways, I hope everybody's having a good week so far, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.